In this video, we're going to look how the structure all comes together. So first thing you're going to see right off the bat is the hook.
This is probably one of my favorite things.
Boom. Hook straight off the bat. This is one of his favorite things. We're more interested than we would be otherwise.
And it's because this was what I learned on my first day of monk school.
Again, interesting. Okay, this is a question that's immediately raised in our head, at least for me. What do monks learn in the first day of monk school? Now that, to me, is personally particularly interesting. You might not find it interesting, but the hook should at least carry you through the first 30 seconds of the story.
So if you think about what you learned on the first day of school, when you were 3 or 4, if you remember what it was.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, exactly. Alphabet, the numbers, right? 1 to 10, A, B, C. Right, the 26 letters of the alphabet. So I remember my first day of monk school. I've just shaved my head. I'm now wearing robes. I still look like I'm from London, like I can't get away with it.
And so this is the first instance of a little bit of fun, right? We got this image of this guy from London here. Again, it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's amusing. And this is sort of what carries the first part of the story as he gets through the exposition, is the contrast of this London guy, right, being in monk school over in somewhere, I don't even know where, I think in India.
I'm walking around and I notice this monk who's teaching. This monk's 10 years old and he's teaching a group of 5-year-old monks, right? And I see him teaching. He looks like an adult, like,
wow.
You know.
And you see Lewis's face immediately. We got very quickly. Some people take a long time. We're about 30-ish seconds in, less. We get to the first interesting piece. If you're telling too much exposition and it is neither funny nor interesting, you lose people. The hook only gets you 15 to 30 seconds. You got to get to something engaging. You don't have to have your climax and your punchline that early, but something in the storytelling has to be engaging, and we get that here.
You know, his ability to like teach these 5-year-olds and conduct himself, and he's got this great aura about him. And so I'm kind of eavesdropping on his class. I can't obviously go and sit with a bunch of 5-year-olds, even though I really want to, because I'm like, I feel like a 5-year-old next to that 10-year-old. And
so he's also doing a lot with his eyes and body. Don't worry, we're going to get to this in presence and magnetism. We're sticking to the structure right now.
I went up to him and I said, what are you doing? And he said, oh, well, we just taught their first class ever. And I said, oh, cool. And he said, well, what did you learn in your first class at school? And I said, oh, well, I learned the alphabet and numbers. And I said, well, what did they learn? He said, do you want to know what they learned on their first day of school? I said,
so this is brilliant. The punchline is coming, all right? Do you want to know what they learned, all right? We've been curious about this. We wanted to know at the very beginning what he learned on his first day of monk school. Now the question is asked to the character in the story. Please tell us.
Yeah, of course. He said, the first thing that we teach them, the first thing you learn at monk.
And now he slows it down. You don't want to abuse this, but if you do this, what you'll find is that people are on the edge of their seats at this climax. We're going to talk about this more when we get to punchlines, but let's let it run.
Monk school is learning how to breathe. I said, why? He said, because we're taught that the only thing that stays with you from the moment you're born to the moment you die is your breath. All your friends, family.
So this is now we get to the point, and now this is what he really wanted to say, but in story context, this is packaged in a way that we're much more interested and engaged. If he just started saying, hey, you know the most important thing in your life is the way you breathe, we've heard that before, it's uninteresting. In the package of this story, though, it becomes fascinating, new, and we are actually open to potentially making this change, and now he's going to sell us on that just for a little bit. I'm not going to show you the whole clip.
Family, the country you live in, all of that's going to change. The only thing that doesn't change, that stays with you from the moment you're born to the moment you die, is your breath. And he said, notice, when you get stressed.
And now he goes into the different situations in which you can apply that. So the story very much had a point. All of this just to show you the structure of a good story and what you're going to be building towards as you construct your own stories. They might have very different content, but the relative structure, even if it's a funny one, will be similar.